Welcome to the next video in our series. This one is how to format your APA style paper and that reference section. So as always, read your assignment to ensure that you have all of your bases covered. In this example, we are just talking about standard student APA formatting. So you need to read your assignment to see if your instructor has any specific things that they prefer. They might prefer a specific font, they might prefer a specific font style. So make sure that you have that information. I personally will do the formatting of my paper at the very end. It's one of the last things that I do before I submit my paper. This way I just make sure that the paper is following all of the APA formatting. As you'll see, it gets a little tricky with like headings and subheadings, and so I always just do it last. However, when you are starting your paper, you've got your word processing feature open. You can set up your margins, the font that you're using, if you need it to be double spaced, the font size. So you can start formatting at the very beginning. Here we have an example of an APA style title page. APA style has page numbers on all pages, including our title page. Those are located in the top right of the paper. All other information starts 3 to 4 lines down from the top, centered on the page and double spaced. The title of the paper is bolded. We do have an extra space that you'll see between the paper title and the author names. And then you have the rest of the information that follows: your author names, affiliation, course number and name, instructor name, due date. Due date is important. That is what you typically use, not the date that you submit the paper. So we have our title page, and then we have the very first page of our paper and our first heading. The first heading that we use is the title of the paper. We repeat it again at the top of the page, again centered, bolded. All of our paragraphs are that half-inch indent, left aligned, and then we have those jagged right margins. Now, as I mentioned, APA style typically uses headings and section labels. So our next slide has an example of what those look like. So on the right-hand side, we have another example of a demo paper. At the top is the title of the paper. Here our paper is about techniques in group psychotherapy. So title, centered, bolded, top of the page. And then we have our introductory paragraph. Then we introduce our first topic, which is guided imagery. So that heading, topic, centered, bolded, middle of the page. Then we have a subheading. So in guided imagery, we're talking now about features of a guided imagery. So we introduce that concept with our subheading. We have our paragraph about it. And now we're going to talk about guided imagery in group psychotherapy. So we have that secondary subheading, which is there, bolded, left aligned. On the left-hand side, you'll see what the format of headings can look like in a more involved APA style paper. The more subheadings that you have, the more things might differ a little bit. So if we had an additional subheading nested under this guided imagery, it would be italicized. Once you have written your paper, hooray! Then we have our reference page. So the reference page lists the complete information of all the citations used in the paper. And in APA style, our reference page is listed alphabetically. We have references, centered, bolded, top of the page because it's a heading, followed by all of our full citations. It is best for the format of your reference page to use the hanging indent feature that exists on all word processing programs. This just helps make it all look consistent and fluid. And that's a wrap on this overview of APA style format and reference page. More information can be found on the CWC Library website, and we have videos on other citation styles there as well. We'll see you next time.